Madam President, it's great to hear my Democrat colleague come out against what's happening at the border. It is a disaster, and it is a national security threat. 3 weeks ago, 2 illegal immigrants attempted to break into the Marine base at Quantico in Virginia. Both individuals are Jordanian nationals who were apprehended by Customs and Border Patrol protection at the southern border and released into the United States. One of them is allegedly on the terrorist watch list. Now, how did we get here? How did we get to the point where 2 people who entered the country illegally and were not screened or vetted tried to drive a truck onto a military base? Let me say that again. These people are not being screened or vetted. We have no idea who these people are. But here's what we do know about the people who have invaded our country. 25,000 Chinese nationals have entered our country since October the 1st, 2023. 184,000 Haitians have entered under Joe Biden's mass parole program, along with 101,000 Venezuelans, 91,000 from Cuba, 75,000 Nicaraguans. And this doesn't count the 76,000 Afghans who came here after Joe Biden's disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan. As I've repeatedly said, I've got no problem with legal immigration, nor do my Republican colleagues. America is the land of freedom and opportunity. If people want to come here legally, we'll welcome them. But we cannot have terrorists crossing our borders unverified. Ask the FBI. Beyond the safety concerns, we simply cannot afford to support the 11 million illegal immigrants who have illegally crossed our borders in the past 3.5 years. I don't know if Joe Biden missed the memo, but folks, we are dead broke. Dead broke. Yet we're shelling out hundreds of billions of dollars to support these 11 million illegal immigrants. And this does not count the millions of what we call gotaways, who obviously, if they can come across and not be apprehended, why in the world would they go somewhere and run from the Border Patrol? It's because they are criminals. A recent report from the House Committee on Homeland Security estimated the southern border surge is costing the American taxpayers about $450 billion a year. You got that right. It's costing the American taxpayers $450 billion a year. After 10 years, we're looking at a $5 trillion bill. In terms of actual benefits, it is estimated that illegals receive $42 billion in welfare annually, $68 billion in education, $7 billion in health care. We're spending hundreds of billions of dollars to support all these people. The American taxpayers can simply not afford it. So, why are Joe Biden and the globalist Democrats allowing this to happen? Why is this going on? It is simply because Democrats care more about keeping power than they do about safety and protecting the American taxpayer and the American citizen. A New York congresswoman confirmed this. She said she welcomes illegal immigration because it helps with redistricting. The president and his progressive left Democrat Party know that the more people that they can get into this country, the longer they stay in power by increasing the population in the blue districts. Simple fact. But enough's enough. Too many American lives have been lost due to the blatant disregard of U.S. law by the Biden administration. It is time elected officials fulfill their obligation and the oath of office, starting by protecting the country from all enemies, foreign and domestic. So, this bill, the Border Act of 2024 that Schumer is forcing us to vote on, is basically an absolute joke. And by the way, President Trump has never told me, and I talk to him weekly, never said one word about the border. I don't know where my colleague from Georgia got this information, but it's false. If he'd have told anybody, he'd have told me. It doesn't even, this bill of Border Act of 2024 It doesn't even have the word security in the title. That's because this bill will only make the crisis at the southern border worse. It's a border invasion bill. It's not a border bill. It's a border giveaway paid for by the American taxpayers, trillions of dollars. It also weakens the power of the president by suggesting the president close the border only when Customs Border Patrol has apprehended 4,000 illegal immigrants a day. Yeah, you heard that, a day. So we're going to pass a bill that's going to allow 4,000 people to come here a day. That's insane. Last time I checked, the Commander-in-Chief already has full authority to secure the border. Nothing new about that. That's supposed to be a basic requirement of his job. Protect the American citizens, protect our borders, protect our country. The bill also includes zero funding for the border wall, zero. And it codifies dangerous catch and release policies. So, how did we get here? How was a border bill crafted that does nothing to secure the border? Republican leadership put together this bill. They pushed things without telling the rest of the caucus and said, at the end of the day, this is the bill that we come up with, and we rejected it. Most of us didn't even know what was in the bill, even at almost the time of the vote. The bill is just another public relations stunt from globalist Democrats pretending to care about the border during an election year. We need to get serious about national security created by open borders. Serious. If we don't believe that, we need to ask our allies over in Europe that have pretty much had their country destroyed by immigration. The American people don't want another messaging exercise. They want to feel safer in their neighborhoods. They pay our bills. They deserve it. We're here for them. Over the last 3 years, Americans have watched in disbelief as Joe Biden has intentionally erased our borders and invited millions of illegal immigrants to invade our country. My bill, the Border Safety and Security Act, would shut down our borders until the Department of Homeland Security regains operational control, because as we speak, the border is being overrun. That means the border would be completely closed until DHS is able to track exactly who is coming into the country by either detaining them or setting up a program similar to Remain in Mexico. It's that simple. If Democrats are serious about securing the border, they will support the Border Safety and Security Act. As if in legislative session, and notwithstanding Rule 12, I ask unanimous consent that Judiciary Committee be discharged from further consideration of S. 696 and the Senate proceed to its immediate consideration. Further, that the bill be considered read a third time and passed, and the motion to reconsider be considered made and laid upon the table.
Is there objection?
Reserving the right to object.
Majority Whip.
Mr. President, the background that leads up to this moment is worth a minute or two to be explained. They want us to work together to secure the border, support our economy, and stand by America's fundamental values. I object.
Objection is heard. The senator from Alabama.
Well, there you have it. The American people have their answer. Democrats don't care about securing the border. They never have, and they never will. They pretend to. They continue to choose open borders. More crime, more fentanyl overdoses, more human trafficking, and more American deaths. Democrats will say the Republicans tanked a bill that would have secured the border. You just heard that. This is a blatant lie. This bill, crafted by Democrats, would have done absolutely nothing to strengthen the border. Not one thing. In fact, it would have made things worse. It would codify the problems that we've had the last 3.5 years. My colleagues have offered real solutions. Republican colleagues offered real solutions for the last month to fix the problem. We have a huge problem. Somebody needs to recognize that. but my Democratic colleagues have voted against and objected to every single thing that we've brought up. Don't buy into this lie. Mr. President, I yield the floor.